Hi, I'm Rick Walters, and I'm one of the teachers here at Coral Gables Congregational UCC that does adult education. I'm a huge fan of our adult education class, and over the last few weeks we've been doing a class on Paul the Apostle, Appealing or Appalling. And that title comes from a video series that was done by John Dominic Crossan, a scholar who is no stranger to this church and whose video series in the past we've used many times for adult ed. So I wanted to just bring you a short message about what our class has been doing and certainly invite you to participate in this one, which I believe there will be 2 more sessions of when we restart our sessions here at the church, or at anything in the future that we offer in the adult ed program. Well, what about Paul the appealing, appalling apostle? It turns out that the reason why some people think of him as appalling is because they're not aware of an important scholarly discovery about Paul's letters. In the New Testament, there are a number of letters that are attributed to Paul, but only 7 of those were actually written by him. The other letters were written in subsequent periods of time and were affected by 2 things. One, they're called, using a fancy word, pseudepigraphs, from the word pseudo, meaning that the people that wrote them weren't Paul, they were pseudo-Pauls. They were assuming his identity for the purpose of gaining greater stature and authority. But those letters reflected a later time in the development of Christianity when the reaction against the Roman Empire's crackdown persecution of Christians was getting more and more severe. So the original Paul actually believed in a very kind of interesting sort of approach to Christianity, early Christianity. And then the second wave of letters represent the conservative Paul. And then there was a third set of letters, primarily Timothy, 1st and 2nd, and Titus, that reflected a reactionary Paul. But if we take Paul in his true essence, we see that what he said in Galatians, the 3rd chapter, for instance, was that there was neither Greek nor Jew, male nor female, slave nor master, but that all were one in Christ. He was actually talking about a kind of equality, at least within the Christian community, that is a precursor to the way we talk about equality today. And particularly in the United States, where we have the Declaration of Independence with the words, all men, people are created equal. And so it's important to know that when looking at the authentic Paul, we get a different picture. We get an appealing Paul as opposed to the appalling Paul of the conservative and reactionary letters. That's key to understanding him. Now, if you want more information and you're out there thinking, I've got some time at home to reflect and to read, and your UPS person is still delivering to you, you could read a book about Paul. Now, this is the best book on Paul, perhaps, which is written by John Dominic Crossan, In Search of Paul, How Jesus Apostle Opposed Rome's Empire with God's Kingdom, a new vision of Paul's words and world. But this is dense. It's got a lot of detail and information. So if you want something simpler, the first Paul, also by John Dominic Crossan with the help of his friend Marcus Borg, is a little bit more of a condensed, easy-to-read version of that. So I hope you'll check out these books and our class and future classes. Thanks for listening.